So hello everybody. Jen Ferguson here with Artistic Painting Studio. For those of you that might not know me, going on this. This is the tumbler that I'm going to be working with. And last night I showed you guys how we were already prepping this. I lightly sanded it and I primed it with my black Bondago. Okay, so if you are new, okay, what I did is took some of my foil adhesive out of my big container. It's the white stuff right there, but this is what I call my sticky plate. So there's layer after layer after layer of foil adhesive on here. So I just keep using my plate over and over again. And anytime I brush my foil adhesive, I like to mist it with some water, add about 2-3%, okay, my brush. And I'm going to go ahead and put on a full coat. Oh, so Nikki wants to know more about my black Bondago. Okay, so Bondago is made by a company called Perfetto. They make some really cool plasters that we carry as well. And the Bondago is a paint and primer all in one. And because I do so much in black, it is just like the best base coat. Okay, it's my primer, my paint all in one. I don't have to go back and feel like I need to get something that has better adhesion. So I always know that I'm going to have a really good substrate if I'm using Bondago because it is all in one and it covers so beautifully. You can basically get full coverage with one layer. Okay, so I'm trying to put my foil adhesive on as nice and smooth as I can, okay? And I'm even going to go ahead. I actually shouldn't have done that yet, okay? I should have put this on my tumbler holder before I painted the bottom of it with adhesive. But hey, I figured this would be gorgeous on there. And I'm going to cut a piece that I believe is long enough that I can wrap around the whole tumbler. Okay, so I know I'm probably doing an overkill here, but when you guys ask for scraps, you guys get all my scraps. I base coated it with black Bondago and now it has the foil adhesive on here and you can see how bright and shiny it is. I want to say it's been on here for 30 minutes. We have fans going in here. This room is pretty dry and I'm going to say we're going to go for it. Okay, I always tell everybody wait an hour because we don't know what your conditions are in your environment and it's always best to wait longer than not wait long enough, okay? So I am just going to go ahead and lay my tumbler down and wrap my foil around it. But this edge here, okay, I don't want that real distinctive straight line in my transfer. So I'm going to kind of keep that edge up as I let it roll onto the foil. Okay, so that way the foil has kind of come together without having that straight line. And I've got some wrinkles, but you know what? I think this just creates interest in my transfer, so I'm not worried about it. It's not like I was rolling something that was completely a perfect cylinder. It's tapered, so it's never going to probably roll perfect. But we're going to go ahead and just continue to rub the surface. I like using a soft cloth. I think it's just rubs it on really nice. I did put adhesive on the bottom of it, but I'm going to wait until I actually pull the rest of the foil off and then I'll do the bottom separate. And then we're going to peek, okay? So we're going to pull it back and see how well it has transferred. Now, if there's any spot where I've got the black peeking through, and I know this is too fresh, you guys, okay? I can just tell the way it's pulling. I'm going to go ahead and use my softer of my two brushes that I use a lot. This one is a nail brush. All my brushes are plastic bristles, but some of them are stiffer than others. But I'm just going to go ahead and try to smooth this on a little bit more. And I'm going to embrace all my imperfections. Okay, so anywhere there's wrinkles, or there might have been more of an air bubble, okay? You can always push it back and rub it back on. But I'm going to definitely have some black showing, but that's okay. And this is definitely because I hit it too soon, okay? It's the adhesive's not dry enough. And I can guarantee you that is why I'm getting some strange pulling, okay? But we're gonna go for it. It's just gonna be a little bit more rustic. I'm gonna set the can on top of the foil so that I can do the bottom as well. And so I'm teaching you guys, okay? Patience is really a thing to practice with your foils. Pushing them is not going to make them any better. That's always going to make your release worse. And it's because the foil adhesive needs to dry to a firm, hard tack. And that usually takes an hour to accomplish, okay? So I pushed this, and that was probably 30 minutes. So I'm going to put this up close, okay? And hopefully you can see that there are definitely some missing spots where the foil did not adhere well or was wanting to actually pull the substrate up. Oh, Teresa, this one here, it's our newest foil. It's called Melody. This is how you can see it way better on here, okay? But it's gorgeous. So far, I've done it on navy and black, and it reads a little different on both colors, but it's stunning either way. So I went shopping on Amazon, and I found a cup turner, and there's millions of them out there, you guys. So find whatever one you like that's in your budget and go buy you a couple of them if you want to do this. I only bought one. I wish I had bought two, but hey, you live and learn. And I want to show you guys some things that I'm doing. Epoxy drips. So I have covered my cup turner with press and seal so that it drips on press and seal, not on the cup turner itself. And I'm putting wax paper or plastic underneath the area that I'm going to work, because I do not want this dripping all over my table. Okay, that way I can just throw this plastic away or this wax paper and we're good to go. Mine came with a couple of different sized foams so that you can work with different size cups. And we are going to go ahead and shove this in here. Okay, and I'm going to shove it in a little bit further because I don't want the epoxy to get onto the inside and hit the foam. And then just put this on the arm. Okay, so we're set and ready to go. Okay, now on to our epoxy. We are working with our liquid glass. We carry this in 8-ounce kit, 16-ounce kit, 32-ounce kit. If you want something bigger, you better call me. Okay, we don't have those listed on the website yet. And it is a hardener and a resin. So it's a 2-part epoxy. And I have always just learned by A and B. Okay, that is the way I remember how to do it. So your resin is part A. So as soon as I open it, I put A on the resin bottle, and your hardener is part B. So put a B on your hardener. Now I'm going to confuse you a little bit because I want you to know you pour B before A. So make notes or come watch my video again, okay? Okay, so we're going to pour part B first, and I'm going to pour 1 ounce of it because that is the measurement I have. Like I said, I know this is too much. And the reason why we pour B first is because the resin mixes into the hardener easier than the hardener mixes into the resin, if that makes sense. So if you pour B first and then pour A into it, it mixes better. And they are totally different consistencies, and you will know that as soon as you open your containers, okay? So I've got 1 ounce in there, and I'm now going to pour in my 2nd ounce. And this part is definitely thicker. So pour slow, okay? So if you ever have any issues with your resin setting up correctly, it's 2 reasons. It's because you did not pour equal parts, okay? So it's important to do that. Or you didn't mix it well or long enough, okay? So these are things that just have to be done, and you got to take the time to do it. So I'm stirring this. I just got stir sticks, okay? I'm going to scrape my edges. I'm scraping the bottom. And guess what? You get to mix this for 2 minutes. So I'm going to look at my clock right now and see what time it is. And don't worry about getting bubbles in here. You're going to clear your bubbles out with your blowtorch, okay? So don't worry about if you think, oh my gosh, I got to stir that really soft and smooth because I don't want to get bubbles into it. Forget it. You'll never stir it well enough if you're and not get bubbles in, okay? So as we are stirring it, it's not going to look as clear. It's going to look a little bit more frosted, and it's pretty much because of the bubbles in there. Not a quick set epoxy. Once you pour it, you're going to be able to move it and work it for some time, okay? Not that you're going to do much on a tumbler, especially what I'm going to do tonight. I'm not doing anything fancy. I'm not doing additional colors. My foil is my design, okay? So I'm just going to be enhancing the foil. Okay, so I think we're stirred up here well, and I'm going to add some gold dust to this, okay? Now, gold dust is not glitter, and it's not mica powder. It's in between. I do not sell this, but you can find it with a lot of different epoxy companies, okay? So I'm just going to pull out a little bit of this, put it into my epoxy. And I hold this can up closer with the lid off, but I got a fan going and it'll go everywhere, okay? So it is just the finest of, it's just dust, okay? It is gold dust. There's no better way to explain it. Okay, so we are just going to stir again, okay? So now I added my gold dust. I'm going to show you guys what this looks like here in a second. Okay, and that just helps more people get reached. Okay, so you can see that my epoxy now has a little bit of a gold hue to it. Okay, and that is the dust. No, Jenny, it is not mica powder. It is dust, okay? It is something totally different. And like I said, I don't carry it, but different epoxy companies do. So you could just Google dust, okay? You're going to find it, I'm sure. If you need help on guidance, I'll direct you guys. But it is cool stuff because it's not glitter. It just gives a little bit of a sparkle, but it's not like a big glitter, okay? So definitely way more fine. So I'm going to bring the camera back down because now we're going to start doing this project. Because I am just doing basically a clear epoxy pour, just has some dust in here. Trying to be really good about answering them during the video if possible. Okay, so all I'm doing is using a foam brush, and I'm just going to brush on the epoxy as it spins, okay? Now, if I was using multiple colors, there's definitely different ways to apply it, but we don't have to worry about that. We are just brushing it on because it is just going to cover the surface. But this cup turner, you guys, this thing has to stay on all, well, 8 to 10 hours. So you need to leave your cups on your turner for 8 to 10 hours so that it dries and does not have any pooling, and that it'll be gorgeous when it's done. Okay, now I've got coverage everywhere, it looks like. I'm just trying to look at it and just make sure that I have 100% coverage. I'm just kind of getting down here at an angle where I can see, because I can tell I've missed a couple of spots. So I'm going to wait till that comes back around and be ready. Be ready. Oh, there it is. Okay. Sometimes you have to look at an angle just to make sure. Okay. Then the next thing I'm going to do is you're going to grab your blowtorch, okay? I never thought I'd be a girl that loved a blowtorch so much in my life, but I'm telling you, I love the blowtorch. Love my heat gun too, but these are great. Home Depot, okay? And you've got to make sure, okay, this is also something I have on my Amazon page because it's really important the kind of torch that you get. It has to have these holes all the way around here because if not, the minute you turn your blowtorch like this, it'll go out. Okay, so you've got to make sure you're getting the right kind of blowtorch. Okay, so the blowtorch is bringing the bubbles to the surface and clearing your epoxy out. So you have to hit it with a blowtorch. So we're just going to light this thing up and Allow it just to go across the surface as it spins. And it's clearing out the epoxy. It's also heating it up, okay? So you want to be careful how much you heat it up, because the more you heat it up, the more it's going to run off of the surface and you're going to lose your epoxy. But you definitely do have to hit it with a heat gun to get it to clear out, okay? And then I like to let this spin for about 10 or 15 minutes. And it's going to cool off during that time while it's spinning. And I'm going to hit it again one more time lightly with the blowtorch, making sure that I held it pretty close so that hopefully you guys could see that. But normally I'll hit it where I'm 6 to 8 inches away from it. So I'm not going to heat it up too much when I come back and do that. This is one of the projects that we did in my painting group. So this was done in my private painting group. Okay, this is epoxy. And it is so gorgeous. You can do so much with it. So this is why I like a bigger blowtorch, because I normally am working on a lot larger surface than doing the cups. But if all you're going to do is possibly the tumblers, the smaller blowtorch will be fine. Okay, so this is going to spin and spin and spin. And again, thank you guys for hanging out with me. I appreciate all of you being in this community. Y'all have a wonderful evening, and I'll see you soon. Bye.